Okay, so we're gonna pick up where a little bit before where we left off. Stat confere monument stat. So stat, it rests or it stands, and basically you are translating this as like it must happen. Confere, to confer or to bring together the hand of Aeneas. Stat, it stands. Quidquid acerbi est, whatever is bitter. Morte pati, to endure death. Neque me decorum Germana. O sister Widabus, you will see me undecorated or disgraced. Neque amplius, no more, no longer. Hunc oro, I pray now that, let's see, I pray, sine me, allow me, furere, to rage, ante hunc furorem, before this rage, I think is how I translated last time, before this like fury. And so Turnus is speaking here, obviously to his sister. He's saying, I must fight Aeneas. Let me to rage before basically my death. You will see me disgraced no longer. Because he's kind of saying like he's come to this realization that he's disgraced because he was fighting in the margins of the battle while he was letting all of his men take like the hardest part of battle, defending their city. Dixit, he spoke et and dated saltum.
Hey, Miss Jonker.
Hang on just a second, dude. So he spoke and dated, and he gave a saltum, a jump, a koru from his chariot. So he jumped out of his chariot. Okios, very quickly. This is the IUS. This is like the Eeyore, the IUS, like more quickly. Here it just means rather quickly or like very quickly. Arvis perque hostis, through I'm going to say perque hoste. I'm going to say arvis is ablative, in the land or in the fields. Perque hostis, through the enemies. So he like jumped down into the actual field and started running through the enemies. Gratias. Paratella ruit, and he ruits. This is like a word for run, but it's like very forcefully and violently running. Like he destroys everything in his path. So I don't even know the word for that. You'll probably know better vocab for that word than I do off the top of my head. But he runs forcefully, paratella, through the weapons. And deserit, he deserted his maestam sororum, his sad sister. Maestam is a word for like grieving, like very, very sad. Ac rapido cursu rumpet, and he breaks through the media agmina, the middle like battle line. So now you're thinking about the battle line of Trojans that he like runs and breaks through. Rapido cursu, with a very rapid course, or like with a very like fast path. This makes me think of Red Rover. I don't know if you played that growing up, but it was a little bit violent and a lot of fun. Maybe I should teach out my kids. I'm thinking more people. Okay, Aqualuti Montes and Weluti. Okay, so here, this is like ding, ding, ding. This should be a huge flag word. And I'm going to give you some flag words right here. These are simile words. This means just as. So ut can mean just as. Uti can mean just as. Weluti can mean just as. Welut can mean just as. You're just like looking at the ut is like the uti. Or you can say sikut just as you kind of see the oot here too. And now you're going to jump into a simile, which I think most of you caught. And just as a saxum, so now now the entire metaphor is a rock. You're going to be comparing Turnus with a rock, just like a priceps saxum. I never know how to translate priceps. It basically means like leaning forward. If you look it up, I think it says like headlong or something like that. So you can say like leaning headlong, or like a downward, like you have the sense that like gravity is pulling it down. Maybe pause the video and talk about different words that you all chose for that. IDK. A headlong rock. So just like a headlong rock from, let's see, ruet when it rushes, and take note that this is the same ruet as Turnus ruets up here. Same thing, like just as he ran forcefully, this rock ran forcefully de vertique from the vertex, or from like the point montis of the mountain, cum ruet awulsum vinto. It rushes down. Let's see. What did I want to kind of like blown away? What was awulsum? Yeah, torn away window by the wind. So basically you have like this rock on a mountain and the wind blows hard and it starts falling, and like gravity is pulling it down and it is rushing through everything in its path, is kind of the image. Or turbitus imber, or the like violent, the turbulent rain. Or, and you can do like metonymy here and say like the rain actually stands for a storm. Polluted, washed away. So washed away like the rock from the high place on the mountain, like the vertex of the mountain out, or the, let's see, so blapsa vetustas. So vetustas is old age. So we're going to say like the slipping away old age, or like the collapsing old age, or the going away old age. And you kind of get the sense that like time is just passing you by. Anis, in the years. So it's like the oldness, the going away oldness, like released it, the oldness of the years, or like the age year by year, released it. Soluit, like, yeah, released it, or like loosened it. Fair tour, the mons improbus, that unsteady mountain, and meaning here, not meaning like the whole entire mountain, but this part of the mountain that was unsteady, this rock. In other words, fair tour is carried magno actu by a great act. So the great act meaning old age, or meaning the storm, like the violent rain, or meaning the wind. Oh, I think it was the wind that blew it off before. But by a great act, this unsteady mountain is carried down in abruptum. Okay, so this part I feel like was hard for me to translate into a broken off place. Abruptum meaning like having been broken off. And you get the sense that it happened like forcefully or suddenly, abruptly, I think is where we get that word. But another translation used cliff here, which kind of makes sense. Like a cliff is a part of the mountain that kind of fell off. So anyway, the unsteady mountain at a great act is carried down or falls down in abruptum into like off the cliff. Exultatque solo, and jumps over, or like solta, like jumps x from, or jumps out of. Solo, this is like where we get the word soil. It just means earth. This is locative, a place where exultat solo, or you could conceive of it as ablative. It jumps off the land. So think of like a rock tumbling down, like an avalanche or something, or like just this one single rock tumbling down from the topmost part of this mountain. And as it's tumbling down, it's like jumping up off of I'm literally making hand motions over here. Literally like jumping up off of the ground as it's tumbling down because it's hitting, little spots. In woolwinds, rolling or involving, or let's just say rolling into it with itself, say cum, rolling in with itself, all of these things, the silwas, the forests, the armenta, which I think means herds, and Weiros and men. Like this avalanche, this like rock that's falling down, tumbling down, doesn't care what is in its path. It's going through anything and making a giant path, rolling up anything that's standing in its way with it. Disjecta turnus. Oh, okay. So seek. And this is the next word that you're looking for. Seek. This is the word that a lot of times Latin speakers will use for yes. This is where Spanish sí comes from, but it literally just means in this way. And I look for a seek at the end of a simile, because this is saying like, in this way, Turnus also rolls down through the mountain and rolls up everything with himself. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the resolution to the simile that we just entered. So Turnus, ruit, rage it, like runs forcefully, ad moros, to the walls orbis of the city. That's loud. Sorry, guys. Disjecta per agmina. And how do I want to do this? Through the like disheveled battle line. And I don't know if you know what a battle line is, but think of like an army. Do you see my army of little dot people? And all these people are like holding spears and everything like that. And they're like all huddled together. But this front line right here, we kind of have that idea of like a front line. This is the line that it's talking about. So Agmina, you probably looked it up and probably said line or something like this. It's like the front line of all of these people. So if it's disjecta, like this is get like all broken up, and Turnus runs down through the broken up battle line, and he's like running into the city, running toward the walls of the city, running toward the like thick part of the raging battle. So Turnus runs, like rages through the like scattered battle line. Ubi Ubi the terra. So where much of the land, maret, is wet, fuso sanguine, with diffused blood, with like spent out blood, stridentque, and something is strident, the auri, the breezes or the airs, we're gonna keep that plural, are making noise, hostilibus, with their spears. And here is what Turnus does. He significat. He makes a sign, or he signs Manu with his hand. So he's like waving his arms. And at once, simul incipit, he begins magno ore, with a great speech, or with a great voice, however you want to say that. Literally, this is the word for mouth or face. I would probably say with a great voice, like this being the ore, like the mouth standing for the voice. Name that literary device. I'm sure you can. Parkite, yam rotuli, stop. Yam now, oh Rutilians. Okay, and remember that you have the Trojans versus the Italians. The Italian people are the Rutilians and the Latins. Stop now, et, oh Rutilians, and inhibit your tella, oh you Latins. Whatever is fortune, so like whatever is going to happen, whatever fortune is, mea est, is mine. Meaning like, if we're not able, if we're going to die, if the Italians are going to lose, that fate is mine. Like, let me take the weight of that, basically. Me Warios. Okay, so I'm gonna say Luere. Well, we're gonna do Luere first. And how did I translate that?
I walked in my parents' room, I got like
Oh, Mea S. Yes, I do. Good to see you. Good morning. I said, good morning. I do love to see you. It is mine, Luere. Like it is my responsibility, basically. Luere means to pay. I don't know why I just wrote that in English. To pay the foetus, the treaty. And this is also like in the Pledge of Allegiance says like Americae Foederatarum, the United States of America. That's the united part because like we're united by a treaty. So if that helps you, like this is where we get the word federation also, like federal government is like all the states united. So anyway, treaty. So it is mine to pay the treaty or to pay the truce or the agreement. And remember the agreement was that Queen Amata promised Aeneas, their daughter, Warius, very, very truly, unum pro vobis, one for you all. To pay, oh yeah, there we go, the foetus unum. To pay one treaty for you all, et decernere ferro, and to decide by iron, which is the sword. Discestere omnes, everyone ran away. And remember, this is a fake out infinitive. You have this long ERE here, and that means erunt. The only way I actually know this in real life is because it feels long. I don't know, it's just a feeling. But omnes, all or everyone, it makes sense that this is a they. And dederunt, same thing. They made spatium space, medii, in the middle. And Father Aeneas, Pater Aeneas, adito nomine torni, with the name having been heard, and this is ablative absolute, like two ablative things. This is a perfect passive participle, so like having been heard, you can see the audio dire with the name of Turnus, so it's this genitive of Turnus, having been heard, desirit, he deserts. All of these things, and you got the et and the et to emphasize that, and that is called something. I'm sure that's a literary device. I can't remember though, but like excessive conjunctions, and that is excessive, even though that they're just two of them, because he's deserting both the walls and desirit, the summus arches, the highest places or the highest like citadels of the city. Remember that he's like invading at praecipitat, let's see, and he cuts down, what do I want to say, or he casts down, or he like drops it, I don't know, like disregards maybe the moras omnes, all delays, and he rumpit, and he destroys or breaks away all of his jobs, omnia opera, or like all of his jobs or all tasks. So basically like Aeneas here is like, oh, he hears the name of Turnus, or maybe he hears the name of Turnus and he turns his attention, and it doesn't matter what he's doing, like what building he's burning, who he's killing, or what's happening at that moment. He stops everything and turns and looks, and Laetitia with happiness, exultans, rejoicing, intonat he, and you see the word like in tonat, tonare, it just means to make noise. In means very forcefully, he forcefully makes noise, armies with his weapons. So you can imagine him like holding his spear or holding his sword and like banging it against his scutum. Scutum means, I forgot the English word, like a shield. Thank you. It would have come to me eventually. Banging his weapons against the shield or whatever. Horrendum here. The book says to translate this adverbally, so you can just say like horrendously. And yeah, let's. Do we want to keep going? Let's stop here, and we'll stop 700.